Well, folks, leave it to the Biden administration to politicize even the most bipartisan issues and gaff Joe Biden's way through it. It's what he did. Today, Joe Biden held a news conference to give an update on his $28.6 billion restaurant revitalization fund, federal relief that struggling restaurants, bars, and other venues can apply for. It allows owners to apply for up to $10 million per business. But there's a catch here. Under the guidelines of this fund, the relief is being prioritized, are you ready for this? Based on race and gender. Of course it is. This is what they do. And if business owners are considered socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, well, they're put to the top of the list. So the Small Business Administration lists on its website women, veterans, and disadvantaged people as a priority. Translation: white men who are not veterans, apparently you're not eligible. Here's how the Biden administration is defining socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Part of an economically disadvantaged Indian tribe, subject to racial, ethnic prejudice or cultural bias. Black American, Hispanic American, Native American, Asian American. But folks, the China virus affected all Americans and all restaurants in this country at the same time. No matter if the owners are black, white, Asian, Indian, man, woman, who cares? If you're an employee, do you really care what color your boss is? You just want to go to work. All of it makes no sense to me unless you're playing politics, right? Which appears to be what the Democrats only want to do. Well, joining me now is Democrat political strategist and author of the book, The End of Democracy. Doug Schoen is here. Doug, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, Grant.
Doug, this doesn't really seem to make any sense unless you're just trying to stick people in the side with a sharp stick.
Grant, I believe you help people based on need, and that's economic need. You're exactly right. We in this country have an obligation to those in affected businesses, like restaurants, certainly to provide help. The legislation is a step definitely in the right direction, but it should be based on economic need, not gender or race. I have no problems recognizing that there still is gender-based discrimination and racial discrimination, but the way you redress an economic problem that a restaurant or bar or tavern has is based on real need, not based on gender or race. That has nothing to do with the need a restaurant is or is not facing.
If you're trying to open restaurants and bars back up, I have to believe there are some black and Hispanic employees that may work for white owners. And if you're not helping the white owners open back up, well, you're hurting those minority employees and vice versa through all of this. So, I always get heat for having you on the show, Doug. I know you know this, right? But I want to get inside the mind of a Democrat. So you're a strategist for them. What are they doing here? What is Joe Biden's motivation for coming up with a scheme like this?
Grant, I grew up in the era where you judge people, as Dr. King said, based on the content of your character. We had race-based initiatives that were at the form and core of segregation. The whole point of the civil rights movement was to get away from judgments based on race so that we had race-blind judgments, and that I thought the most effective economic assistance is based on actual need. My party has moved away from that, sadly, to a judgment based on race, ethnicity, critical race theory for many, which I think is very, very harmful to my party, to the country, and to the cause that Dr. King spoke of. I'm committed to anti-discrimination, to be sure, but the best way to eliminate need is look at those most in need, not look at color of people's skin or gender.
Well, clearly, I don't know how else you describe this, but racist against white people. I mean, if it was the roles were reversed here and you were saying black people were not going to be eligible, doesn't make any sense to me, but this is the games they're playing, and I think they're dividing this country further and further apart. Doug Schoen, as always, great to have you on the program.
We need inclusive policies, not divisive policies. policies, Grant.
Amen, brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you
better
so
believe
much.
it. All right.